Welcome back to the Red Truck Woodshop. This project is going to focus on replacing a post on my porch. The existing post is a metal fluted post that has been there since the house was built. We really don't like the way it looks, so we're going to take that post out and put in a aluminum post that we're going to cover in some cedar. So I'll show you the post. So here's the post that we're going to replace. You can see that the paint is peeling off, and with the look of the house, we just really don't like this look. So we're going to replace that one with a 3x3 aluminum post, and then we're going to cover that aluminum post in cedar. So the first thing I got to do is put in some temporary posts to hold up the roof while I take the old post out. I've already pre-cut some 2x4s and I've fastened them together. Here's the 2x4s that I've already cut to length and got ready for temporary support of the roof. And you can see that I have put screws to fasten the 2x4s together so they act like a 4x4. That way the post won't accidentally bow out as we're doing this. The reason for these little cap pieces is they are going to help distribute the load at the top of the post so that we have a good even bearing of the roof on the cap plate here. So here's what we got. As I expected, just plain brick. Nothing was fastened down at the bottom. No surprise there. A couple wasp nests actually inside that post when it came out. But all we got is just some beams above and some brick below. That's kind of what I expected. I'll clean this up a little bit. And then up here at the top, I'm going to cut out that flashing. Eventually we're going to cover these beams with some cedar as well. I want to see what's under that flashing so I can make my connection of my post at the top. All right? So these brackets came with the post that I ordered for this. They were originally meant for a fence post, and the post would fit in here and you'd attach your fencing to that face there. But I'm going to use it a little different, and you can see the profile here, and I'm going to put this part up on top and on the underside of the post. So right now we're just going to see how it's going to fit. So I hung a plumb bob, makeshift plumb bob, from the top corner up there to see where that ended up down here. And it's obviously windy here today. But what I have determined is that this spot right here You can see the paint. That's where the corner of the roof is. So I'm going to use that as my point for measuring everything from, and we'll get things pretty darn accurate. So these brackets that came with the post, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole in the center of this one here, and this will be at the bottom, and I'm going to use a threaded rod, some nuts on it here. I'm going to set it with this epoxy that we got here, anchoring adhesive. Goes in the standard caulking gun. So I'll drill one hole in the center of that one, and then this one will be the top, and I'm going to drill 4 holes, 2 on each side, so that I can anchor this into the top, into the beams above. So let's get drilling on those. To drill the hole for the anchor rod, I'm using this step drill bit made for drilling in metal, and it's been used a little bit, but I'm only drilling one hole, so should be okay. For drilling the holes for the screws, I'm going to use just standard drill bits. No big deal there. Yeah, they're not designed for drilling metal. Actually, this is aluminum. They're not really designed for that, but they will do it. And so I'm going to go ahead and drill those holes for those 4 screws and the hole for the anchor rod. Which, by the way, anyone who's drilled in metal or watched metal being drilled, it's always best to go slower. In woodworking, higher speed is fine. But in metal, you want to go relatively slow. That keeps things cool. So although it sounds like my battery is giving up on this, I'm actually just taking this really slow. Alright, so you can see there, got 4 holes drilled and 1 hole drilled, ready for mounting. So let's take them out there and mount them. I also do want to note, I'm using these Craig 2.5-inch pocket hole screws to mount the top plate. They are rated for outdoor use, and although they're safe for pocket holes, you don't have to use them for pocket holes. You can use them for other purposes, which I'm going to. All right, now that I know where I want everything to go, I'm ready to start drilling. I've said before, drilling in concrete is hard. This time, I'm drilling into brick. So, show you what we're doing here. So I've got my plate laid out here, and I'm going to drill 1 single hole through that brick. I'm going to go pretty deep. You can see here that we're going into brick below as well. So I'm going to drill a hole, use the epoxy. Now I determined this location based on where the one is going to be above. And I planned on it fitting right in the corner. You'll see later. But that's how I got to this location as to how all of my cedar is going to fit around the post. Well, that was a lot easier than previous holes. Brick is a little bit softer, easier, and of course, also on top of that, I had leverage of gravity going with me. I am a little bit off my marks. Fortunately, there's a little bit of forgiveness. I can probably make the hole in the plate just a little bit bigger to the one side. And then everything will line up just right. So I'm going to make the hole in the plate just a little bit bigger. Got a washer here. And I'm going to cut approximately an inch off of the rod. That should be good for us. And I know you're supposed to clean the dust out of the hole, but honestly, I don't know how I'm going to clean dust out of this hole. We'll just leave it. So, reading the directions on this, basically just fits into my caulking gun. First time I've used this, I know all about it. First time I've used it. So I just cut off this end here, put this fancy little spout on that they give me, looks like a mixing spout, and squirt it down into the hole and fill her on up till I get full of adhesive here. And it says I have about 5 minutes of mixing time, or sorry, 5 minutes of gel time on this thing. So, gotta work relatively quick. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, yep, there it is. See it coming through the things. So now, we just mix and squeeze. Well, they say it's like using a standard caulking gun. What they don't tell you is you gotta have the grip strength of a gorilla. But there we go. Filled her up. Tap her down in the hole. There. All right. Now all I got to do is wait about an hour for that to cure. Our epoxy has set up. So I'm going to go ahead and secure this to the foundation. Right now I'm just doing this loosely. I'll tighten it up later, be sure I got everything in proper alignment. So now I got a measurement of 89¼ inches. I'm gonna go cut my post, and we'll bring that out here and set her up. So I'm all set to cut my post. I have my saw set up with a metal cutting blade in it. I'm going to be using a face shield because metal shards, don't want those anywhere in my eyes. So let's get to cutting this post. So for fastening the bracket to the post, I'm going to be using a self-drilling, self-tapping screw for metal. I'll show you a little closer here. So that's the screw. You can see the drill point on there. So we're going to be putting those in to fasten those together. So I got the new post all secured. Let's see if we can take out those temporary posts and make sure the roof doesn't fall down on me. All right, well, as you can see, post is all in. Not too bad. Now I got a little bit of cleanup to do. And then after this cleanup, I'm going to put the cladding on, but that'll be for another day. Today's work is done.